Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Friday, July 14th, 2017. My name is Rich, and joining me once again this week is Bijan. How you making out?
I'm chill, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm doing extra good because we have a special guest with us this week.
What?
We have Natalie Duran, professional climber, YouTube, Instagram star, Golden Heart, American Ninja Warrior. Welcome to the podcast.
Woo! I'm super psyched to be here, y'all.
What up?
What's up, you guys?
Not much. We're having a pretty good week. This was like a banner year for women in ANW, and we've brought Natalie on to kind of chat about that and her own history on the show. And specifically, I'd like to talk about the new rules for women because she's personally affected by them, unlike us who just spout off stuff that we don't know about.
Oh, yeah. So, we were hit by a curveball as much as anyone else was. Basically, we show up to set that day and then we have this thick contract going. We read it. Some people read it, but some people don't. So then you just hear everyone flip through pages, and then slowly but surely people are like, oh my gosh, did you read page number 3? I was like, what are you talking about? There was a few, good shocking ones, but for women, yeah. So the new rules this year is that they have, kind of like a special, you get to go on and play for the next round for the top 5 women. And mixed feelings about it, honestly, within the ninja community and me personally.
Cool. Well, we'll get into that more detail later. I got to say, right off the bat, I learned something about you today I didn't know.
Ew.
I thought you were a rookie in season 8, but it turns out you were on in season 5?
Haha! Yeah. It's it's one of those things where I don't like to kind of, no, it's not true. So yeah, my first rookie season was actually ANW 5 in 2013. Did horrible. But the kind of story of that was the kind of year where the producers, I think, wanted to take more, of approach and trying to find more strong women for the show. And I think that's when Jessie Graff was first on it too, right? Season 5.
I think so.
So the story is from my rookie season is that I've been professionally climbing for 6 years at that time. And then I was a YouTube artist, so I kind of had a big social media presence online. And I don't know how they found my phone number, but they're like, I got a call and they're like, hi, we're casting producers for American Ninja Warrior. Have you heard of it? And honestly, I've actually never heard of the show because I didn't watch TV at the time. But I was like, no, what's going on? And then they described it to me and I was super psyched about it. I told them, I was like, I don't do parkour. They're like, it's okay. You'll have fun. I was like, all right. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, I show up to the set in Venice and had a lot of fun. So how my run went, I passed the steps. At that time, it was not the floating steps. It was just the regular quadruple steps. And I went out on the second obstacle. So it wasn't that memorable.
Was that the moment when you fell in love with the sport though?
Oh, totally. So people are like, are you crushed? You fell on the second obstacle. I'm like, no, bro. I felt like that feeling like I first found climbing where I'm just within failure, I have found this new drive to kind of do better, and achieve more and explore this gigantic world that is ninja.
I feel you. That's kind of like a common thread with a lot of top-tier ninjas where it's their sophomore year where they definitely come out with full presence, just personality, talent, and everything. So really interesting that it was season 5 where you started because I was unaware of that. Good pull, Rich.
Why the 3-year break then if you were into it?
No, totally. So the funny thing is every year the casting producers would call me back. They're like, are you going to apply this year? I'm like, no. And honestly, I just didn't feel ready yet. I was still climbing a majority, but I was ninja training every now and then. And it never really felt right until the creation of Team Ninja Warrior season 1, actually. And then this guy, Neil Craver, messaged me on Instagram. He literally took a big leap in me. He was like, hey, I never met you before, but I like he really chose me because I'm silly and we like to have fun. He's like, there's this new show called Team Ninja Warrior and you seem pretty strong and I would love to have you on my team. And from that moment on, because I did really well in season 1, undefeated, but didn't get the wall. Nice. That's when I finally reapplied to season 8.
That's crazy. I had no idea. That's so cool. First of all, Neil Craver for giving that, so much trust in you. But
I know,
man,
I love him so much.
Yeah, but like that is such a perfect fit because all three of you guys have so much energy. So like, what is it like to just kind of just show off so much charisma and energy on the show itself and kind of come out as a huge dominant star when it comes to personality?
Oh, it feels right. So it's, once season 8 ended and I had a pretty good season qualifying for finals without any new series rules. I had a moment in my car and it was like 6 a.m., finished wrapping, driving home, super tired. And I felt really excited and actually started sobbing on my drive home because I finally felt like this moment where, this is like where I'm supposed to be at, where I'm being acknowledged for my physical strength, but also for me being myself. I'm not acting or anything.
That's so cool.
It was really cool to watch you on there. We were really excited, and it was one of those things that we were rooting for you up that wall, but you missed it because of it seemed like just because of the new height, right? That extra half a foot, you're just trying to will someone up the wall, but we couldn't quite do it for you. Like, was it frustrating to miss by just that new amount?
Totally. I mean, it's whenever we watch the video, I'm like, come on, just do it. But in all honesty, I actually think I still need to do more training. And, I was actually super just worried about getting through all the other obstacles. I wasn't worried about the warped wall because I don't know if I actually had that much confidence in myself of getting to the warped wall, which is like a weird motivational thing of me. So it's, be on the obstacle that you're on. So basically for all my training before season 8, I was focusing on a lot of balance, a lot of like grip strength and stuff like that. And I rarely practiced the warped wall, which maybe I regretted, but maybe not,
But we did get to see you hit the buzzer on Team Ninja Warrior, thankfully, this season. And it seemed like you got really emotional at that moment. Were you expecting it to hit you that hard?
Ooh, yeah, the tears were flowing, and I think for a moment I was just hugging the column on top of the warped wall. I was like, yes! Yeah, because there was, in that moment for season 2 of Teen Ninja Warrior, in between season 8 of American Ninja Warrior, I was training hardcore for the warped wall, and I didn't want it to defeat me. And that was finally my time to kind of put everything together. And when I got up there, I was like, oh, dang, this is happening now. And I was actually super excited. But then all of a sudden I got these like neurotransmitters in my brain that was like, no, you're emotional right now. You're going to start crying. I'm like, okay, now I'm crying.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So this year you ended up going out on the battering ram in the LA qualifiers, missing your redemption. But like, did it matter, I guess, since you've done the team injury? Is it still important for you to do it on the main show?
No, it's like I actually think it's more validated doing it on the American Ninja Warrior show just because it's, the roots of the sport, you yourself and the obstacle. There's nothing else kind of there. But the thing with my qualifying run with the battering ram, even though I got fast forward, but what happened was I was kind of one of the only competitors that used my legs on the battering ram to shake out because in all honesty, I still felt fine, but I was like, you know what? Let me just have some showmanship and show them like I'm a climber and I'm gonna stick my feet on here. And for my dumb self, not realizing that, those battering rams, they completely are movable, which means they're 360. They're a tube on a metal pipe. So once I was trying to put my hands back on, I didn't realize how much of it would slip under me. And then before I knew it, I was in the water, which I was really pissed about because I knew I could do more.
Yeah, I mean, I was there in the audience, I should say, right when you were doing that. And the whole crowd was so behind you and really amazed about like all the talent that you're doing, like wrapping your legs around. I'm like, oh, this is so brilliant. But then when you fell, it was so heartbreaking for everybody. But I must say, everybody was there with you. Everybody felt like they went on the journey with you in that whole moment. It was really crazy to be there for it. And I must say, everybody was saying, or at least everybody around me was saying, she's going to get through that obstacle the next time she goes up. And no spoilers, guys, because I wasn't there the next episode, so no spoilers on that. But I must say, everybody was like, I know, but everybody was like, she's going to get that. She is so going to get that next go.
Oh, totally. You'll have to wait and find out.
Yep. Well, that's the cool thing, right? So that's actually a good lead-in because you were one of the top 5 women at that point, and that means that you move on to the city finals. And this gives you that chance. We get to see you make that next attempt when the LA finals come around. So as a fan, I love it because we get to see more of the strongest women compete. And just to kind of run through the rules, because we didn't actually list them off. So the 3 rules that they put in place were that the top 5 women for each qualifier move on to the city finals. The top 2 women from each city finals move on to the national finals. And there's no wild cards being awarded.
Right.
So first, let me say, so Natalie, if you agree with me, and that this was a good change for women, you're officially speaking for all American Ninja Warrior women at that point.
Oh,
but if
God.
you disagree, it's just your own opinion. That's cool. You can believe however you want, but it's just your own opinion at that point.
Right.
You're savage, Rich. Come on, man.
Be the voice of all ninja women. No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure at all.
No. So yeah, mixed emotion. Like, so let's just say, like, once all the women were together and we all had our discussions, it was back and forth all the time. Like, we could talk about so many different things. Like, overall, no, like, my first reaction learning about it, I was actually completely shocked and not completely psyched about it. For the reason being, you know, last year we had Jessie Graff finish stage 1, and then USA versus the World finishing stage 2. And if, you know, last year Jessie and I, was the first time 2 females ever qualified for a city finals. You know, nonetheless, being a woman or a male, just as a woman, we qualified for that. So I was like, we were making gigantic feats within the sport of this show for American Ninja Warrior. I was like, we don't need any help. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, and when people always ask me, like, oh, it's so unfair, like, there should be a women's course. And I immediately am always like, no, I don't agree. I think the course is catered in such a way where it's supposed to highlight many different skills and abilities. No, I don't necessarily think that's, beneficial to any men or women, because sometimes in climbing, I could heel hook the hell out of a hold and a dude can't do it. That's just because maybe, I'm a lot more flexible. Yeah. So it benefited me directly because I was actually, one of the women within the top 5 that helped me get to city finals to have another opportunity to get to nationals. So first I didn't like it, but then after I did my qualifying run, I was like, okay, maybe it's not that bad.
Well, that's the thing. So I think it depends on your point of view on whether there should be a certain number of women running in Vegas or not, because really it's just replacing how the women make it to Vegas, because the last few seasons they've been taking wild cards, right? And there have been some complaints, but overall most people didn't realize or didn't care that it was taking place. They just wanted to see the women run in Vegas.
Right. So we just kind of need to take perspective, because the definition of wild cards really means producer's discretion.
Right.
So wild cards, even though majority of them or all of them were female, that could have been, who was top after they didn't qualify, or people that are chosen for personality. Now it's, if they move on to national finals, it's purely based on, strength and how far that girl went within the time of the course.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it replaces the wild card, so whoever makes it to Vegas, it's earned. So that's very important to me, and I think most people would agree that they're cool with it as long as it's earned. But more importantly than anything else, which I don't think gets enough, is not the forefront of what the conversation is, which is, in Vegas, everybody's equal. There's no sidetrack for the women or the men or anything.
Right.
It's all equal. So at the end of the day, that's what matters, the Vegas finals. Right. And there it's equal, so it's whatever.
And I'd like to make a point, too, is that people think we're taking opportunities away from the men. And it's not. It's the top 5 women. Usually it's the 30 that qualify for city finals and then 15 thereon. And it's not it's still going to be only 30. So the producers always say, if the top 5 women did not legitimately qualify under the first 30, then we're going to have 35 competitors within city finals. So really no opportunity is lost.
Yep. Perfect point.
I also think it adds something to the qualifiers, because really it wouldn't have mattered in past seasons if Jessie Graff fell on the first step. She was going to be going back to Vegas, right? There was no reason to even show her run almost for the qualifiers, because she's a fan favorite and they're not going to let her not go. But now it matters. Every step on that course matters now for everybody, right? We've had Drew and Flip and Lance and other male ninjas fall early and not move on, but we don't get that for our favorite female ninjas. Now we have that risk. We have the risk that Megan Martin, we still haven't seen her run the qualifier. If she has a slip up this year, it's important. It matters. She won't be going to Vegas.
Right, exactly. I have one more point that I wanted to add too. For the people who are like complaining about the new rules, for me, experiencing it firsthand, it's kind of also the influence that, you know, women have on the show to young girls and young boys, because meeting them there's this new thing during tapings of the show called NBC Fan Fest, and it gives us the opportunity to kind of meet a lot of the kids who are gigantic fans of the show. And a lot of the girls, you know, would give us these heart-wrenching speeches, and that one of them told me, you know, I'm her favorite ninja because I look like I'm having the most fun, and I'm proving to her that I could still be silly and grow up. And I'm like, yes, you be you, girl. Keep going.
That's great.
It's you know, it's not just for the individual woman. It's also just like making a point that this is more than just ourselves. It's about like inspiration and proving we could do more.
Good point. I actually went through the runs on YouTube because I thought, well, let's take a look and see whose runs are getting the most views right now. So we've got a top 3 that is far past everyone else on the show for who everyone's watching on YouTube. So who would you guess is number 1 for views?
Jesse.
You would think, but no, it's actually Janique. By a
really?
long margin. Yeah.
Wow. I love her story. That's so amazing.
She has 861,000 views on that run.
But for YouTube videos, is this for season 9?
Yeah, just looking at this season.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, sorry, I should have been clear. So yeah, for this season, Janique's run is 861,000. Second place is Jesse's run at 475. So a little better than half.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, and Casey's a little behind that at 314, and then there's nobody that comes close to touching them.
That's crazy.
So the top 3 runs, like that just shows how strong the female competitors, how much we want to see them succeed, and that it's not just name recognition, right? We've got Jesse and Casey coming in a second and third place to Janique, right? It's these stories that sometimes we complain about because they kind of go on a little bit, but watching strong competitors on there with good stories is what the show is all about.
Exactly. And, you know, the YouTube videos do not include the bio beforehand. It's pure run. So
right.
It's people going out seeking these videos or it being shared purely on the run.
Yeah, and, I mean, Janique is a new figure. Like, I don't know if this is her first season, but this is her breakout year, right? And
totally.
That is so crazy that she's almost hitting 1 million views on YouTube. So, like, that just shows the star power, and anybody that wants to complain or whatever, I mean, this is what people want to see. That's awesome.
Yeah, I suspect we'll see Jesse LeBruck's video catch up. I mean, it's just got posted. Yeah. Alyssa Beards may climb up there as well. So we've had so many strong runs from the women this year. We had a breakout year last year, but just the other night we had, I should mention, in Cleveland, we had 2 women hit the buzzer for the first time. That was very, very cool.
That was crazy.
Were you there for that one, Natalie? I can't remember if I saw you in the audience or not.
Yeah. I went to every taping besides Daytona, and I was there watching, you know, Alyssa and Jesse's run, and it was just like mind-blowing yet again. And mind-blowing, but also I expected it because I know how strong these women are and how strong they've been training throughout the year. So it's kind of like I'm excited to see you get there because I know you can.
Yeah, we've kind of felt that way from watching National Ninja League. We get to see Alyssa and Jesse before they ever hit the course on ANW, right? We get to see these women, you know, in the training grounds that the National Ninja League's become, and seeing what they can do. So it's great to see that all come to fruition. Barkley Stockett this year was another great example.
Oh, yeah. Barkley, I knew she's like, out of all the females, I wanted to see her do so well because the stuff she puts out on social media of her training is just like nuts. And she's like the sweetest thing ever too. So I know there's always good things to come of her because last year in OKC, you know, a lot of the people just got screwed with those rolling logs.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that was awful.
Not a fan of those logs, but I mean, the thing though is like just the logs in general. This year's like balance obstacles are equally as insane. I mean, they are not going easy on these balance obstacles on any of the courses. So
no, the balance obstacle this year, it's they're hard, but like moreover, you stare at it and it terrifies you. Like I had the block run in Los Angeles, and like I was about to just charge it, and a lot of people are just about to charge it, but then they stammer at the last second because they're like, wait, I need to think about this because these look messed up staring it down the barrel.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Is it like a roll that, I mean, rumbling dice, I guess is a good time to say. Is it a roll of the dice, it feels like, on these balance obstacles? Is that why everybody seems nervous around them?
It's weird because, you know, I'm a climber, so balance obstacles is not my forte. But honestly, every time I've hit a balance obstacle, ANW8, ANW9, I've actually felt super solid on it. It's one of those, you hit it right, you're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more to the notion that not a lot of people train on the particular balance obstacles that are, you know, shown to them, so to speak.
Right.
You know, a lot of the upper body obstacles people have replicas of, but nobody's really going to have a replica of the crazy beams that they have. I forget what it was last week, Rich, but, you know, these crazy balance obstacles, nobody's going to have a block run at their gym.
Oh, I know. Yeah, totally. We all we have is PVC pipes to practice on.
I guess there's like less balance or less room for error as well, right? Because if you mess up on an upper body obstacle, you can readjust your grip a bit and try another swing, but you don't really get that on the balance obstacles.
No, the one advice, like whenever we give each other, is just charge it, because balance obstacles, more than anything, if you're gonna go slow, it's not gonna happen. So you have to commit to it 100%, and let momentum guide you to grace.
Yep.
So thanks for joining us, Natalie. It's been awesome having you on. I knew it would be. Super excited to have you on here and to see how you do in the Los Angeles finals. If anyone wants to follow you, obviously you're a big social media star, I guess. Where are you currently hanging your hat? Instagram, YouTube?
All of the hats. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at ninja_Natalie. And I have an insane YouTube channel that's like not really ninja specific, but it's just like insane. It's ND Titan Lady on YouTube too.
Yeah, you guys definitely have to check out her YouTube. It is amazing. I love watching her videos. It's so fun stuff, especially if you're a big fan of Natalie's personality and everything. I mean, Natalie, you show off so much of like hardcore personality, sure. Right? It's just craziness, and I love the energy that you have on that channel. It's so fun. Your Twitter's awesome, also. So definitely check out all of her stuff. It's good stuff, guys.
Thanks for liking and subscribing.
All right, so that is it for this episode. Thank you all for listening in. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is BIJAN151.
All right, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic week.
Woo!
Peace, y'all.